They will release finally a full steel version of the GMT with the black and gray bezel.
See? I knew I'd get one right. Hi everyone and welcome to Shaluso, and yes, today we are talking about the new releases from Rolex at Watches and Wonders. Now I'm going to do a separate video on the other brands. Today is just focused on the new Rolex releases, and of course we need to start out talking about that new steel GMT with a black and gray ceramic bezel. Now this is something I predicted in my first Rolex predictions video for 2024. And honestly, it's not that surprising. Like I said in the original video, based on the fact that they had introduced that black and gray for the two-tone. Historically in the past, the two-tone had the same bezel color as the regular steel version. The only thing I did get wrong was the color of the GMT hand and the text. I thought it would have been red. They ended up carrying over the green, so nothing too major there. Now the internet has taken to calling this the Wane, which for me doesn't make a lot of sense. I think calling it the Dark Knight would make a lot more sense, especially because it matches the colors of the batsuit in Frank Miller's The Dark Knight. But the internet will decide what it wants to call, and this watch is only 2 days old, so perhaps they'll change over time, but it's generally a pretty good and pretty logical addition to the collection. The next major release they had was the full yellow gold Deepsea. 320 grams of watch to go on your wrist, to go to the depths while still looking like you've got plenty of money. Honestly, this is probably one of the most illogical watches, but that's the fun of watches, is that they don't have to make sense, and they must think that they're going to sell some, especially because they did release a two-tone Sea Dweller a few years ago, and that's been around long enough, I guess, for them to test the waters. But puns aside, while it's something that's not for everyone, it's still good to see Rolex experimenting a little bit. Be interesting to see how well that works out for them. Beyond that, there were the usual releases of new dial colors on a few different models. The 1908 got a new dial color and was made in platinum. That's pretty interesting. But also we need to talk about the discontinuations. Now, first off, people thought for some weird reason that the Pepsi or the Batman would be discontinued because they thought they would introduce a Coke. Well, at the end of the day, they've introduced this black and gray one, and they haven't discontinued either the Pepsi nor the Batman. They also discontinued some of the textured dials, so the palm motif and the fluted dials for the Datejust were discontinued, and they discontinued the Yachtmaster II, which means the Explorer II is now the only sequel that's still in the Rolex collection. But overall, a relatively tame Watches and Wonders this year. No surprises considering last year they did 2 major collection introductions in addition to their usual tweaks and changes here and there. So it makes sense that this year would be a little bit more sedate. The last interesting observation though is that the majority of the changes except for the GMT were all made in precious metals, meaning Rolex is demonstrating that they're acutely aware they don't really need to do anything in steel, it'll sell itself. What they do want to do is make the precious metals more exciting, perhaps so that they can alleviate some pressure on their steel models. But let me know in the comments below which was your favorite new release from Rolex. What do you want to see from them in the future? And do you think there will be other releases coming out this year, similar to how we saw the Le Mans released later in the year last year? That, by the way, has also been discontinued, but they replaced it with the yellow gold one. But anyway, if you like this video, make sure you like it and share it. If you want to see more pictures of watches, then make sure you follow me on Instagram at Shaluso. If you want to see more videos of watches, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell as well so you know when the next video comes out. And of course, check out the Rolex playlist if you want to see some full hands-on Rolex watch reviews. But thanks for joining me on this quick overview of Rolex's new releases for 2024. We'll catch you on the next video.